She's another person looking for a social game, which is crazy. All these people talking about a social game. Big Brother could never. It's literally the opposite on that damn show. No social games. Everyone coming on Survivor knows how important the social game is. It's nice to see. Yo, everybody. I haven't covered a Survivor season in a couple of years, but since I have more time, I'm going to be covering Survivor 49. Back in the day, I used to podcast with my girl Aspen, my fantasy football guru fan guy, Alex, Meg, Mike. Shout out to all of them if they happen to see this video. I won't have enough time to podcast on this. I'll just have to be doing recaps when I have time to do recaps. But today I did want to start with a little cast assessment. Some of my first thoughts on this new cast of Survivor. Jeff's really hyping this season up, which sometimes doesn't mean much, but we'll talk about that more when the show actually starts airing later this week. Let's talk about the cast first. We are going to start in alphabetical order, the way I read about him first and then watched a couple videos. Alex Moore is first, who is 27, political communications director. I think, like a lot of players this season, judging by their answers, Alex is going to try to be Mr. Social Game, which is always the way to try and be. He wants to be diplomatic, like Yul, and he really wants to be a team player, which, I mean, it all sounds great. He wants everyone to, get along on his initial tribe, which you should kind of want to have a strong tribe. I mean, it's all great in theory. A lot of his social answers are great. But he comes across like he wants to also be a fence sitter. And that could go very badly. If you want to be everyone's friend or ally, you are nobody's. So if he doesn't have as great of a social game as advertised, that strategy could easily backfire. But on first assessments, on initial seeing this guy, I think he should do well. I think he has potential to have a good social game like advertised. And with him being in politics, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and think he has potential to do well this season. Kimberly Annie Davis is next. She is 49, a musician. She calls herself a spontaneous risk taker and a wrecking ball. A risky older player will be very fun. So that will be fun if she is as risky or as much of a wrecking ball as she says she is. She wants to remain positive the whole time, which could help her social game if she can stick around for being an older player. I liked her answers for what she wants in an alliance because trusting in this game can go out the window. So she wants to match with someone who has the opposite strength and weaknesses as her. Now, I don't know if she could necessarily find that person, but if she does find that person, I can see it helping her game. I do think she's going to be someone that needs a strong ally in the game to get far. And while a lot of the people's answers this season about how they want to have this strong social game might be true, I believe she wants a strong social game, but I believe she's going to be a risk taker too. So if she is a risk taker like she says she is, she'll be fun to watch at least. Next up is Jake Latimer. He is 36. He is one of the Canadians on the cast. He is a correctional officer. To me, he sounded like a typical Canadian. And I don't know if that will be great for his social game, or if he will be an easy mark who gets screwed over. He is looking for family vibes, which would be nice for his tribe and all, but not for alliances. I mean, it could be nice for alliances too, but he's going to have to keep it real that there will be cutthroat players amongst him. He honestly comes off as really old school Survivor. But the old school Survivor of like someone who could get blindsided quite easily. So of the first three players, I am concerned for Jake's game if he's going to be a naive Canadian. I would hope he's seen the show enough to know there's going to be liars and backstabbers amongst him, and it's not going to be totally family vibes, but we'll see if that comes back to bite him or not. Jason Triul is next. I'm going to butcher some of these last names for sure. He's a law clerk. He said he's someone who is scared to try new things, but he usually does them, and he usually bites off more than he can chew, but he keeps on chewing. So he comes off as someone who has a lot of fears, but always is trying to beat those fears. A good way to be. He gave a nice throwback to video gamer Kenny from Gabon, who watching him helped get him into the show. I think he knows that he's going to be underestimated because he's smaller, but that could put a target on him really early, depending on what tribe he is on and how that tribe is doing in challenges. I think he's going to be someone that might have trouble surviving the early game, but if he is a smart gamer and he does survive the early game, I think he might be dangerous. I mean, fallow gamer Morgan on Big Brother right now has killed it in the second half of the season. If Jason is someone who can survive the early game and gets far, I think he is someone who can be dangerous too. Next is Jawan Pitts, a video editor, a fallow video editor. He's kind of already won me over a little bit. I love that he compared himself to Sean from Marquesas. He liked that Sean was true to himself and a man of faith who would fall down but wouldn't stop caring for people. But then he says he's going to play like Jesse from Survivor 43, who was more social and cunning and played hard. He wants a predictable partner, which is smart to look for because it's someone who you might be able to trust a little more. He says he's both book smart and street smart, and I love a lot of what he had to say. I do believe he will play hard for better or for worse, but I am looking forward to watch him play. If he can have a social game like Sean, which would be able to get along with people, although some people might hate him, but if he can have a social game while still playing like Jesse, more power to him. Next up is Jeremiah Ing. This is our other Canadian. He is a global events manager. He's a big traveler who's been to many countries. He likes astrology. As a fellow person into woo-woo astrology, that made me want to like him. If I found his right birthday, he is a Taurus. So he might actually be a very stable person, but a very stubborn person, which could, hurt him in some alliances or make him want to push for his way. He's also into tarot cards. He says he manifested being on the show. He likes positivity and not people who are negative. He's another person who thinks he will be underestimated. He is giving a little bit more personality edit than person with an actual chance to win the game. He's talking about a lot of this out there stuff, which makes me think he's going to be a character. But I think I might be underestimating him too. But I think I'm going to like him. I mean, I was sold on the astrology. So good on Jeremiah. We'll see how he actually does in the game, though. Christina Mills is next. She's 36, a business degree, career coach. I mean, she's bold. She's calling herself Cirie 2.0, which is a huge comparison to try to make for yourself. But I think she was more so talking about the mom in her. She's in her mid-30s, coming from the couch to play Survivor like Cirie in her first season. But she was also kind of saying that she's going to play like Cirie too. I mean, if she has Cirie's social game while also having the likability of Cirie, which is why so many people want to work with her on every season she's on, then everyone better look out for Christina, because she will be a force to be reckoned with. with. But realistically, I think she has a chance to be an early target if she is not performing well in challenges. But she continued to say in a lot of her answers that she is great at building genuine relationships with people and that people usually want to protect her in one conversation. So, like, she's really hyping up this social game and the similarities to Suri. So if she's right about that, she should be a strong contender to go deep into this game. But we'll see if she's right about that. Matt Williams is next. 52, an airport ramp agent. You know, another person who wants to be a likable player in hopes that it will get him far. I did like that he kind of wants to be a sidekick. That was an interesting point to be made. He thinks he will do good in a subservient role if he allies with smarter players. So he's already coming off as someone not confident in his strategic abilities, but someone confident in maybe how he will be socially, or maybe he's just self-aware of how he is socially. I mean, if someone is playing like a sheep, but they know that they're doing it, it could make for a surprising late game run if he can get there. I mean, do I think he's going to be able to pull it off? No, not really. I'm kind of judging a book by its cover here. I like his answer about wanting to be a sidekick and maybe kind of be a more passive player, but I think it could just make him an easy boot at some point. That's kind of what I'm feeling from Matt. Next up is Michelle MC. I'm not even going to try and pronounce her last name. She's 27, a fitness trainer. She should be a competition person on the physical side, which, you know, would help her if it doesn't make her a target. She's another person looking for a social game, which is crazy. All these people talking about a social game. Big Brother could never. It's literally the opposite on that damn show. No social games. Everyone coming on Survivor knows how important the social game is. It's nice to see. She knows she wants to combine her physical comp ability with a strong social game, which is easier said than done. But if she can pull it off, it's a great combination to have. She wants to work with open-minded individuals, not my way or the highway people. So kind of the opposite of Matt, who wants to be an underling for the my way or the highway people. She said she has the social charm to be everyone's best friend and outwit, has the athleticism to crush physical challenges and outplay, has the mental endurance to outlast. She's very confident in her abilities. I believe she has the potential to be a physical threat, but since old guy Jeremiah brought in astrology, she's a Libra. So I actually do believe all this social charm talk. Libras are very socially charming. So if she has the social game and the physical competitions, another person to watch who might do very good in the game. Next, Nate Moore, who was 47. He's a film producer. He gave very low-key answers, but one of the answers was how he wanted to play low-key. So to me, he already comes off as low-key, which makes me believe he can actually be low-key in the game. He wants to be someone who leads without being without being pushy, which is similar to Earl on Fiji. He knows the game requires lying, but doesn't want to be a sociopath with it. He wants to find an ally loyal to him, but can deceive others without being a sociopath. The gist of his answers is that he wants to be under the radar. Honestly, he's coming off boring, but sometimes that is how you be under the radar, is be kind of unassuming, be kind of boring, and be someone who is very low-key. I think he is someone coming off as capable to go under the radar because he's kind of boring. So that's how I feel about Nate. You know, not a great thing to be boring on reality TV to me, but in the game, you can go under the radar that way. Nicole Mazzullo is next. She's 26, a financial criminal consultant. Another player that wants to be a social weapon, but she also wants to be a well-rounded player. She's hoping to be one step ahead of anyone coming after her. Obviously, that's something you need to be able to do in Survivor. If she can do that, she will do well, but I can see her being a person that's paranoid. If you're always trying to think of everyone's next move and trying to be one step ahead of everybody and wondering what they're going to do, I feel like that's a person that can easily become paranoid in a game like this. So she has to walk a fine line with that. She comes across as someone ultra competitive, so I expect her to play hard, but that could possibly lead to overplaying at some point. So unless she can really stay one step ahead of people, I fear Nicole might be an overplayer one of these rounds. So I'm looking out for that with Nicole. Rizzo Valovic is next. He's kind of a lot. He's someone who's probably clearly going to get a fan favorite edit because he's on the next season of Survivor, a returnee season. We already know he's on season 50, which makes me think he doesn't win, but maybe he's a fan favorite who wins and plays right again. I don't know. The dude is saying he wants to be one of the best players ever, which I just heard on Big Brother this past season, and that guy Adrian made me cringe the whole time. He even says he goes by Riz God. He's a New Yorker with a big ol' ego. I don't know. He's either going to be a big personality who messes up at some point, or he's going to be a great player. Because he got managed to be cast on the very next season, it makes me think something big happens with him. I don't know. Maybe it's just that the producers really liked him. Jeff probably loves this guy, let's be honest. He says he has this never give up mindset to try and make happen what he wants in the game. He is someone looking for a ride or die. One of his biggest inspirations is John Cena. He's a big wrestling fan, and John always preached the never give up. You know, I like the wrestling fan connection. Me too. I'm not a John Cena fan, but I get it. He knows the game takes a lot of luck, and this was one of the answers I actually liked. You know, there's strategies in the game, there's social game, but Rizzo also knows that the game takes a lot of luck, and he says he's a lucky person, as well as knowing the social game. So since, you know, he's on season 50, I expect something big from Rizzo one way or another. I think he's going to be someone that gets on my nerves personally. People that say they're going to be the best player ever usually have potential to get on my nerves quickly. That's just what happened on Big Brother recently. I can see it happening again, but he's going to get the fan favorite edit. But I'm also someone that likes to rebel. So we'll see if I actually like the kid. Next up is Sage Ahrens Nichols, 30 years old, a social worker. I like that she knows people see her as a goofy optimist, which disarms people and makes people believe that she is naive and fragile. If she is self-aware and that is an accurate take on herself, if her personality disarms people, it's a great thing to have in a game like this. She has her eye on the long game, which means she's not looking to prove people wrong. She wants to drop her ego from the game, which is honestly a big deal in a game like this. The ego can override you so much in a competition game. Even I sometimes see it when I do the web series games on this channel. Some people's egos keep them from making the right decisions, when to make the right decisions. Some people will get scorned. Their ego will feel some kind of way. They're looking for revenge rather than winning the game. So I like these answers from Sage. I think Sage could be one to watch, honestly. I did like a lot of her answers, some of my favorite answers out of everyone. And she's someone that seems totally self-aware, which I think is always a big deal in a social game, because Unfortunately, we don't get live feeds on Survivor, but when you're watching live feeds of Big Brother, you can see how not self-aware most players are, and it really bites them in the ass. So if Sage continues to be self-aware as the game goes along, she's one to watch. If she makes it past these first few rounds, watch out for Sage. Next up, Savannah Louie, a 31-year-old former reporter. It's true in what she said in some of her answers that a reporter has to get people to trust her to give some intimate details. I do want to see what her past life as a reporter brings to her game in like trying to build connections. She's another woman hoping to add challenge beasts to her resume while having strong social ties and a strong alliance. I did get the vibe from her answers that she wants to be someone who is aggressive in building a strong alliance. But she said she's not someone just looking for numbers. She really wants to have an alliance where they look out for each other. Like I say, easier said than done. People on these games, especially Survivor, are going to want to cut your throat at some point. They're going to want to stab you in the back. So she can't get too comfortable within an alliance, which I can see happening with her because of all her alliance answers. She sees herself as an under-the-radar physical threat while also being a social threat. If she is a physical threat, she will be under the radar with it, I believe. I can see big things from Savannah if she's on the right tribe and can get the kind of alliance that she wants. I would like to see what her game looks like if she's on a tribe that's struggling, because she seems like someone that is hoping to not have to be cutthroat, and that could be bad for her. Next up, Shannon Fairweather, 28-year-old wellness specialist. I'm not going to lie, I got nothing from her about how I think she will do as a player. Her answers were not great. It's like she just listed everything about how she sees herself as a player, but also said nothing at all. Much like old Jeremiah, she is another one that's kind of out there. She also likes things like astrology. I see her as a potential character similar to Jeremiah rather than maybe a good player. She listed her big three in astrology. She is a Virgo sun with a Libra moon and a Gemini rising. Now, as a fallow Libra moon, people in real life tend to love us. We're very lovable, okay? Very charming. And I say this as someone self-aware, okay? I'm not being an egoist here. We tend to be charming and lovable. And then Gemini risings are stars at being social. Plus, as a Virgo rising, she might be more of a strategist. I mean, she's a Virgo sun. I'm a Virgo rising. But she might be more of a strategist than she lets on. She gave a lot of woo-woo answers, but I can see her being strategic. So, like, I have no idea what to expect from her as a player. She's coming across as a hippie, all peace and love. But judging her astrology signs, she's a very strong social contender. I do love when I get to talk about astrology with these damn videos. Next up is Sophie Bellardi, who is a 27 entrepreneur. She identified with Natalie Anderson, which means she thinks she is both smart and bold, which it's a bold assumption to be Natalie. But it does sound like she wants to attempt to play a ruthless game that is very strategic while also trying to have emotional connections. Not a lot of people have talked about, at least in their answers, that they are comfortable being cutthroat. Sophie Bellardi did, in fact, do that. So it's interesting to see almost the whole cast value the social aspect of the game, especially after watching Big Brother this season. But I like that she also is fine being cutthroat, or at least she says she's going to be fine being cutthroat. I did also like answers from her about what she wants her alliances and allies to be like. She wants people that will keep it real with her and tell her when she is being too paranoid. So that leads me to believe she's someone that can actually listen, someone that is okay with tough love, which I think is actually a very strong thing to have in an ally. And it's very smart as a player to be, or at least attempt to be okay with somebody trying to tell you you're being paranoid, you're doing too much, calm down. If you could be okay with that and not get paranoid about the person telling you that, that's a big deal. She knows she might not be the most physical player, but she says she knows how to talk and she knows how to separate emotions from the game. So I can see her being savage, honestly. And she is also a huge Real Housewives fan, so she might make for entertaining TV too. I'm actually very excited to see what Sophie brings to the table. Winding down here, we have another Sophie. This is Sophie Segretti, a strategy associate, another player who does strategy for a living too. She's an alternate, and her answers seemed very rushed, to be honest. Like rushed, like she didn't have a lot of time to answer them. She became a fan watching All Stars, which to me is a super cutthroat season. But then in her answers, she talked a lot about honesty and loyalty. So I don't know. So to me, she came off as a fan of Cutthroat, but wants to be honest and loyal. So I'm gonna chalk her up to her being an alternate and answering her questions last minute as to why she kind of seems kind of boring with vague answers. I don't know much of what to expect with her, to be honest. And last but certainly not least, Stephen Ram, who is a 35-year-old rocket scientist. Maybe we can finally put an end to the old saying, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to win Survivor. But maybe it will actually take a rocket scientist to win Survivor. He's a Colorado native like myself. He grew up with hearing loss. I like that he identified with Rupert, of all people, but he identified with him just because he is not afraid to be himself. But let me tell you, Rupert was no rocket scientist. So if he can be like likable like Rupert, strong and comps like Rupert, while also being a smart-ass rocket scientist, I don't know. I think that's a good thing. He's another player hoping to go under the radar, though, which is not very Rupert-like. And then he's hoping to be under the radar and pull strategic moves when needed. I think he's going to be very smart. I think he is going to be one of the better strategists this season. He is also another one who is really striving to be under the radar. And yeah, smart. I guess my only question about him is if he will fit in socially. He comes across a little nerdy. But honestly, who am I kidding? Survivor casts nothing but nerds these days, so he's probably going to fit right in. So I think Steven could be a strong contender, at least strategically. And that about covers everyone. So I am looking forward to the season. I will see if Jeff's hype is real. Most of the last, honestly, all of the 40s seasons have been a struggle for me. But especially like 2 out of the last 4, I haven't finished 2 of them. So, and last season was one of those seasons that I didn't finish. So I'm hoping that this is at least better than last season. Last season was a very boring season. So it has to be better than that, I hope. But I will see you after episode 1. I don't know if I'll do it in a live. Probably that's all I'll have time for. So see you in a live, hopefully come Thursday, to talk about the Survivor premiere.